A flashback episode that was absolutely pointless because it didn't tell us anything we didn't already know about the story. Acolyte episode 3 is one of these completely useless episodes. Liffarian Parzer here to talk about the Acolyte episode 3, which is something I'd rather not do because it was absolutely pointless. Nothing happened in it. And nothing was built up besides the fact that the Jedi may or may not have killed a bunch of witches. Which I wouldn't blame them for doing, because they were kind of evil and weird and shady people. Though the Jedi were also kind of weird, kind of shady, weird people. That's your morally gray, Disney. I get what you're doing. You're not clever. Anyways, what happens? Well, the writers decided that they needed to go and do a little bit of character building. So Osha is outside the castle walls, or the fortress walls of the giant fortress that the witches now lived in. Did they build it? Don't know. They just live there, and they tell the kids, don't go outside the fortress walls. Osha leaves. Okay, so the writers think, I've proven the point now that Osha likes to rebel against the current status quo. She wants to go outside. She doesn't want to stay within the confines of whatever witch mysticism that her family kind of belongs to. Which, yes, you do establish that by showing her breaking the rules. But you don't show any kind of inkling that she would know anything besides the witch life. So her two choices, now that you establish she was sort of a free spirit, is free spirit nomad outside the castle walls, or a witch inside the coven. Alright? So that is what you actually set up. Now let's see what happens next. May shows up and decides to be evil and tortures a butterfly. Osha uses the Force to freeze a butterfly, but it's kind of shown that she's not actually torturing it, or at least that's implied through the dialogue. But the dialogue basically says, why do you keep on hurting things? And then May is like, why do you keep on leaving? Which is the blandest thing. Why did you do this? Have a little bit of subtext in what they're saying, but no. Ask question, direct. Nothing is hidden. Which is okay. They are 9, but when the adults do the same thing in the show, it kind of just proves that it was the writing quality. They didn't know that kids talk very directly. They just are bland. All of them are bland. Okay, so let's continue. Osha says that she doesn't want to go through Ascension. She might want to choose something else. May says, well, your destiny is tied to mine, so you must go through Ascension, blah, blah, blah. Gets to the fortress, and then the leader of the coven, the black lady, says, hey, are the Jedis on the planet? And then the mother of the two twins says, yes. Osha and May are the twins, by the way. They're the only kids in this, group of witch people. So, there. She says, yes, we spotted them landing a ship. They're on the planet. Then the leader of the witches says something incredibly stupid. She says, oh, this planet is a safe haven for our people. No, it's not. You were just told that the Jedi landed on the planet. How could you be this mentally backwards? They told you that your security has been breached, and then you say, this is the safest planet ever for our people. Basically, you completely didn't listen to what you were just told. If you said the fortress is still safe and a safe haven for your people, that would make sense. But that was not what was said, because Disney writers are stupid. Then they have another scene where they build character between Osha and May, but nothing is built because everything is given to you with the subtlety of a brick through your window. They say, I don't want to go through Ascension. You have to. Blah, blah, blah. So the conversation continues like that for a long time. Then the leader of the witches show that the Force is actually a thread, and shows complete ineptitude at math. Power of one, power of two, and then power of many. Okay, well, why can't you show three? Probably because they can't count that high, but who knows? Maybe they just don't like the number three. Then she says the thread isn't something you wield like a weapon while using force push and wielding it like a weapon. And later, you would see her use the thread to possess a Jedi, Torben, right? Yeah. So she would use the thread, which is her interpretation of the Force, to possess a Jedi and like completely destroy his mind and stuff. That's not wielding this thread thing as a weapon. What are you talking about? Are you dumb? Is that just it? Are we not understanding the meaning of words here? But okay. In fact, probably because they say that the thread ties you to your destiny, but you could pull on the thread and manipulate your destiny and change everything, right? That's the exact words. So, what is it? Is it destined, or can you change it? Is it malleable, or is it predestined? Who knows? Don't know. The writers don't know definition of words, but who could blame them? They're diversity hires. Probably. Maybe. Okay, let's continue. Jedi comes in and interrupts the ascension ceremony, but not before May becomes indoctrinated into the witch cult. That's basically what happens. May becomes a witch. Osha has not become a witch. The Jedi comes in and does stupid. So both sides talk past each other for like a long time before the Jedi says, okay, well, would you please allow us to test them anyways because we're the Jedi? And the witches, who have animus towards the Jedi, for some reason says, oh, well, now that you ask nicely, we don't mind. We're going to give you the kids to test. Okay. Why? Okay, who knows? Doesn't matter. Badly written. Let's gloss past that. Then, as we see in the first episode of The Acolyte, the Jedi have mind-reading powers, all right? They have mind-reading powers. Take that into consideration in this next scene. Which is saying, okay, well, they're going to get tested, but we know they're force sensitive, and because they're force sensitive, they could pass a test. So what do? Lie on the test. It's not going to work. You gave Jedi mind-reading powers. They would know if the kids are lying. But hey, internal consistency within a story is not exactly Disney's strong suit. So let's continue. We get to the testing scene. May obviously lies and fails out, and Osha goes, and then Soul is like, okay, what is this thing? And they're doing the iPad test from the prequels, right? Where the Jedi has a bunch of pictures, and the person being tested has to guess what the things are on the pictures. And then Soul uses the most surface level trick by saying that Osha is correct on certain things to trick Osha into saying that she was incorrect, now knowing that Osha was lying. That was the whole thing. But why though? And the test wouldn't actually make sense because Osha would not have been able to see or know what any of the pictures are because she only knows what life is like on the planet. So she would probably know what a tree looks like, a mountain looks like, a door, a fortress, other human beings, but giving her a starship or a space station or other planets and saying, what is this? She would have no idea what that is. So Soul made a completely wild guess out of nowhere that Osha is not just ignorant, but lying. But they're correct because the writers are stupid. So let's continue. Osha passes the test and says she wants to be a Jedi. Why? Don't know. Because she had no idea what the Jedi were just a couple seconds ago. And obviously, I'm pretty sure the witches wouldn't talk about the Jedi. They talk about those people. It's kind of vaguely hinted that they're talking about the Jedi, but they never use the term the Jedi. So Osha wouldn't know. Why would she want to leave with a bunch of strangers when she's like 9 and 10? Who knows? But that's what they decide to do in the story, so we'll give it a pass for now. Then May figures out that she basically betrayed their promise and wants to be a Jedi. So May does the most logical thing possible and tries to kill Osha by burning a wooden book or a paper book in front of a stone door while locking her sister inside the room. Yes, we are in a Star Wars universe where stone is combustible and the flames on stone can spread. Look, fire in space is a thing, so this little stone thing, not that far-fetched to think that Disney actually believes that this could happen. And then we get screams and fire, explosion, more screams, more fire. And then Osha, from magic sorcery, figures out the ability to hack doors and opens and frees herself. She runs out and meets May. May blames her for whatever happened. We don't know what happened. And then Osha blames May, right? So May blames Osha, Osha blames May, and then the bridge collapses. Soul completely forgets that he has the Force and saves Osha by grabbing onto her arm and pulling her up the side of the cliff of the falling bridge. May somehow survives this because she has the power of Darth Maul, but a little less because May didn't get cut in half. And then Soul decides to train Osha, as the Padawan. Yep, that's kind of the end. That's the gist of the story. Nothing we didn't know already. So we're gonna get a second flashback, obviously from May's perspective of what happened during the fire, and I have a little bit of a theory of what happened. So May comes out, says that she killed Osha. The Jedi flip out, and then a giant fight happens between the witches and the Jedi because the Jedi want to detain May for killing a prospective Padawan, and then all the witches die. The generator explodes because who knows why. Probably the Wookiee had something to do with it. And then, yeah. The problem is, it doesn't show any of this, and it doesn't seem like the witches have any saber wounds. So, another theory is that all the witches killed themselves and put their essence, maybe, into May? Put their hatred essence into May? Again, they explain the thread as a connection between one, two, and many, which is dumb. And yeah, we're gonna have to see what actually happened because so far I don't think the Jedi did anything wrong. The Jedi are a little bit sketch, like a small bit sketch. They are kind of like kidnappers of children, but then again, those are witches that are training these girls into the arts of the dark side. So I think they're kind of okay in destroying this sect of people. I think they're kind of justified, especially with the antagonistic nature and the mind destruction of Torben when they first meet. I think the Jedi are actually justified, and there's nothing morally gray about the series because the writers are incompetent. All right, but that's enough for me and my little rambling spiel about Star Wars. That said, see you next time. Oh, yeah, and the schedule. Next week, there's probably going to be a gaming video that comes out in the beginning of the week. I'm going to probably talk about episode 4 before Saturday reviews. If it's bad enough. And then, yeah, that's basically it. The schedule. Next week, there's probably going to be a gaming video at the beginning of the week. And then when the episode comes out for the Acolyte, I'm going to do a video on that if it's bad enough. If it's not, then wait till the Saturday review, which is today. Signing out.